Hey, what's up, everybody? It is AJ Turn Up. We are here with Bucks Report. It is Sports Talk Florida pregame show right now. Oh man, it seems like it's been forever since we've been talking about the Buccaneers. Uh, we had a nice bye week. Let's just hope that the coaches and the players have had a sit down. They both have adjusted, made agreements, see what we can do to get this going because now this is the crunch time. The Bucks are 5-5, so now it's time to see what they can do. Are we going to repeat what we did on that Super Bowl run, or what are we going to do, guys? So it's up here today. We start off with the Cleveland Browns. Now let's bring everybody else in. We got Slick, my man Slick. What's going on, Slick? How you doing, sir?
Good. Just chilling. It's been a bit weird because there hasn't been much football. There's been a lot of football, just not a lot of our football. So
I know. Oh man, but I was thankful during Thanksgiving. I'm like, you know what? I'm thankful that the Buccaneers are 500 because it could have gone so worse. So we all have our differences of personnel and players, but at the end of the day, Bucks fans, we are just thankful that we are still in prime position to be dangerous.
absolutely, and that's where we want to be. Well, it's not obviously not where we want to be. It's where we want to be at this point where
Yes.
we've got to. We come away with a win where we probably looked the most complete we've looked all season. So that's for me a big plus. It's whether we're going to get more of the same and things tightened up, or we're going to go back to where we were.
I agree. I have a good feeling. Over the weekend, I felt this is just how we were our Super Bowl run. I think during the Super Bowl run, we were still trying to find it ourselves, and we had those sit downs, and then things started clicking more. Now I think that the mindset now is going to be let's win these games. We really need to win. We got to work together. I'm hoping that they just come to compromises. I really hope that Leftwich takes a look and say, okay, like you said, I'm hoping Slick that maybe he said, all right, now it's time to open the book and let's get more creative plays. I'm hoping that that's what you're saying. I'm hoping he said, you know what, I can't hold off on this anymore. I gotta get another 30% out of the arsenal because now this is crunch time. This is the point of the season where it makes you or breaks you. So Slick, if he has that theory, I'll owe him an apology. If all of a sudden we come out with these fascinating plays, I will personally have an apology video for Left. I apologize, sir.
Like this is, I mean, like I said, I'm hoping that's the case. I never said it actually was. I'm just hoping that they are kind of holding stuff back. But now's the time. 7 games left to go. You can't really be playing. Let's play peekaboo with the playbook. You want to go out and you got to unleash a fair chunk of it. They do have a favorable matchup tonight. They're going up against a team that struggles to defend at all. So the Buccaneers are in prime position, run or pass. They should be able to set this up. So as far as I'm concerned, this should be a slam dunk win. As far as I'm concerned, their team is talented, but not disciplined enough defensively. They have some really good key pieces, but then they don't seem like a very together unit. And that some of their key pieces have regressed a little. Their run game is pretty weak, and their back end is also pretty suspect as well. So there's a good chance to eat here. This is a game that could just turn around and you could fire on all cylinders. Yes. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Vita Vea not there. Yeah. Or he's a game day decision. I don't know what the call on him is yet, but I always plan for him not being there, and if he's there, it's a double whammy. We got the ace in the hole. Right. I do believe we've got a guest in the background as well.
Yes, we do. We have Carter Brantley, guys. Everybody knows. Let's get him in here. So let's come on in here to the chat, buddy. Come on, let's get up in here. Let's get him in here.
Hey, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
We're good, man. How you doing? We just here talking about Bucks. The usual. I just got to ask you, what is your 3 hot takes that you want taken away from this Bucks versus Browns game?
Oh man, that's a great question. First, I want Rachaad White to run for over 100 yards. That is kind of I think he's going to, because this Browns interior line is pretty much non-existent. Second, I would love for the Bucs to continue their trend of not turning the ball over, no interceptions for Brady. That's not really a hot take though. That's been a trend, but still, I'd love for it to continue. Third is I want them having at least 3 interceptions of Jacoby Brissett. I think it's very possible the Browns offense, they rack up a lot of yards, but their turnover differential is one of the worst in the NFL. I think the Saints have the worst turnover differential in the NFL with -12, but I think the Browns are bottom 5. So, that would be awesome if they can force some turnovers and hold on to the ball. Turnovers always seem to be a huge factor. But Slick, how are you feeling, man? You're the England and US, man, the
I
World
don't
Cup.
follow soccer. You're asking the wrong. I didn't watch the game. Had no interest in the game. In fact, my bit of banter, I suppose, was actually mocking England fans because I'm not actually English, which is surprising. I'm actually half German, and I kind of key onto my German side more. I was born in Germany. My mother was German. My father's English. And I live in the city. I moved here when I was like 2 years old, so I don't know any better. So I always support the underdog. Well, I say underdog. Germany's no underdog, but I always support what was different. I always strive to be different. And my take was, which pissed a lot of England fans off, was just remember, guys, both me and the entire England football squad have scored the same amount of goals against against the USA tonight. And I'll let you both know we're all scored nothing.
Right.
Like, great for you guys because it's something. It's just got to get that win now. I heard some people talking about how it should have been that England weren't playing well on purpose or whatever. I don't believe that crap because you always want to play well.
For sure.
It's because they know they can pip a game. They already dominated their game when they played against Iran. Wales will be probably a walkover for them. Probably out of the 2 games, America was probably the toughest one on paper, realistically. So there's a lot of people saying they just didn't try because there was no point in trying. But I believe you go for the jugular every time. There's no excuse for that. You go for it. Imagine it's harder to get back into a groove if you're out of your groove.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
We see it with teams when they take their foot off the gas in the NFL all the time, and they go into that kind of prevent defense. They just sit back and they get hit, and all of a sudden they score or something goes wrong. They give up that one play or something like that, or someone is able to. You're playing off, but now you're creating space on the field for guys to juke and get around. So they end up doing that, run it in for a touchdown, and all of a sudden momentum's completely swung the other side, and it's hard to get back into that groove and really get things going on your side of the ball again.
For sure.
Agree. It's like the Dallas and Vikings game. If you go watch that game, Dallas did not let up on the Vikings at all. They were all over Kirk Cousins. He had nowhere to go. That was the best game they played because, like you said, they didn't want to get out of group. They wanted to dominate. And that's how you're supposed to beat a team that you want to be better than. So I agree. But Carter, what you said about turnovers, I absolutely agree. The secondary has been stout. But what is separating them from being devastatingly dangerous is the turnovers.
For sure.
If Dean and Carlton Davis are able to get turnovers, like you said, it's a wrap. Nobody in the NFC wants to see that because, as we can see, they're not getting beat deep. That's one thing I will say that is a major difference from last year. The secondary was very shaky. Of course, we had a lot of injuries, but this year these guys are on it. If you look at it, the only thing that kills us is the little cushion coverage when we're not in sync, like you said. When we play off. But overall, you're not running it on us like you were normally, and you're not throwing it against us. That's why this defense, to me, if the offense plays average, the defense can take you the rest of the way. As you said, my only concern today that I would be certain about one player that can really mess up the sync of the offense is Myles Garrett. The rusher. You have to double him or chip him. You have to get him out the way. You don't even want him to get the game going. Because like you said, this is a slam dunk win if we really on paper. But don't get that guy going. There's always that one guy on the team. Because you know who he kind of reminds me of? Do you guys remember Dwight Freeney?
Oh, yeah, the Colts.
He was, before Mathis came there, he was the one guy that could put the defense back, that could set them up and ignite a fire.
I see what you're getting at.
Yeah.
He gives me Cam Jordan vibes. It's kind of the way he carries himself, his personality. It gives me kind of a Cam Jordan vibes.
Oh, yeah, they're both jerks. So we know that.
Exactly.
Oh, no. But
nobody likes nice defensive linemen. They don't do well in the NFL. Nice defense. We all know that with Gerald McCoy. We love Gerald McCoy, but he was an absolute gentleman to everyone. He said sorry when he sacked people, for crying out loud.
I know. I don't mind. No, I don't mind a nasty defensive person. I hate a cocky defensive person, because the problem, like the Cam Jordans of the world, they're dirty. But then when football karma comes back to them, then they like to bitch and complain. Yeah. That's why the Bucs can't stand Cameron Jordan. We've seen what he's done to Ryan Jensen in the trenches, but then when something is done to him, then he runs and cries. I don't like that.
He did a thing on NFL UK, and they asked him who his least favorite player in the NFL was, and it was Ryan Jensen. And he didn't even say Ryan Jensen. He said, "I hate that piece of shit center that played for the Buccaneers."
Oh yeah,
I fucking hate him. I was like, "That's what we want to hear, Cam. You tell us all about that prick."
Yeah, but I do like the fact that when Ryan Jensen sets his ass up straight, and that's why I can't stand Cam, because another person that he wants to try to chastise, but he always puts him on his ass, is Tristan Wirfs. You've never seen Cameron get under Tristan Wirfs' skin like he used to get under Dotson's. Tristan Wirfs literally just goes, "Get out of here. You're old. You're done. You're through." So I love it. Now I got two players that need to turn up today. One is Rachaad White, like you said, Carter. I want him to turn it up. I want him to turn this damn thing up, because from what I've been seeing, is Leonard Fournette out today?
He is.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I need him to really not only just run, but receiving, because he's good at receiving. I want him to be deadly in that. So I would look for short running back passes on the offense. Defense, I want Antoine Winfield to turn up. I want him to bring. He's been solid, but I want him to. You know how he can set the game up with those spectacular plays and interceptions. I bet you if he turns it up, it will re-energize the secondary. So those are my two guys: Rachaad White and Antoine Winfield. How about you guys?
I'll go White and White.
Ooh.
Both of them. Devin White still hasn't completely proven. All Buccaneers fans that all's forgiven and what have you. Obviously, he's still going through this his family stuff, and that's understandable. But I want him to continue this dominance that he's had, because I don't want him to go back to where he was, because he was NFC Defensive Player of the Month in the month of September, and in October he has a very spotty, rough October. At least 3 games where he was. We didn't look like we had Devin White on the team. It looked like we had a backup out there, and a poor one at that. And then he comes in and has the Rams game he showed up in, and then obviously in Munich he shows up in a big way and wins NFC Defensive Player of the Week. I just want to see him continue that. I know where you're going with the Antoine Winfield, because he's due a big game, and someone like I'd say Mike Edwards too. That their guys just do a big game. There's loads of people on this team, but I want it for me. I'll give you my biggest person I really want to show up. Whoever's going to have to play nose tackle. So it's going to be Raheem Nunez, Nunez-Roches. He needs to show up. He needs to have his due. He needs to solidify himself, because we all know the kind of double teams. They're not going to double team now, because they're not going to give him the respect. Make them respect you. Make them double you, because that's your role as a nose tackle. You're not meant to go and pass rush and put pressure on the quarterback. You're to eat up blocks to allow everybody else to get home. It's an unselfish job, and Vita Vea is so good at it this year from a pass rushing perspective that he's getting home too.
Yeah. What about you, Carter?
Yeah, I'm kind of on that same note. I'm going Akeem Hicks on the defensive end, just because. Oh man, Nick Chubb, he's intimidating. He's one of the best running backs in football, top 5 in yards and touchdowns. He's just a physical, bruising presence, and that Browns offensive line's really, really stinking good.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough, and Hicks, when he's healthy, the Bucs have one of the best defenses in the NFL, if not the best. So I'm looking for him to continue to make a big impact, even in the little things, kind of like Sue used to do, just leading the defensive line and leading that front 7, kind of just setting the tone. But on offense, it's tough, because I want to say Rachaad White, but y'all have already said him, so I feel like you're tough. I'm going to go Kate Otten. I don't know. I just have one about him. The Browns linebacking core is kind of tough. So are their safeties. Their corners and defensive line are amazing, but, they've got Deion Jones from the Falcons, and, it's just a lot of lot of kind of tough fits. I think K. Dotton's going to have a big day, and you know how Brady loves his tight ends.
They're a corner
So
down as well.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm definitely looking for a big game from K. Dotton as well.
I'm with you, man. With this offense I want this offense to give us 17 to 24 points today. That's what we need. We need that. That's is that being reasonable, gentlemen? 17 to 24 points today against this team. Like you said, their linebackers is meh, safeties are meh.
I'll be looking at 20. I'll be looking at the high 20s. Yeah, I'll be looking at high 20s, early 30s. And then you want to try and this defense, if it plays the way it does, it can stop people from scoring at all. But do you know who else will be really good on this conversation? Another guy that we got in the chat ready to go. Do you want to bring him in?
Yes, let's go. James Canada.
Big Game James from Big Game Sports Buzz. Welcome to the show, brother. How's it going?
I'm good. How's everything going?
We're doing all right here. Just looking to see that we make the Browns stain today. Let's do it. Let's go. We were just talking about two players, one player on offense and one player on defense to shine. Who are you looking for on offense and defense to shine today?
Oh, coming in on the tail end, like Carter, y'all kind of took a person that I talked about in my game's Peter perspective yesterday, and I think Akeem Hicks is big being back in the middle. It allows Vita Vea to also do some different things. And you can't, who you going to double team? You got to pick one. And then I think that should help open up the outside edges for us as well. On the offensive end, I'm going to take the easy way out. I'm going to say a collective effort from our offensive line because Myles Garrett and Deion Jones, they have to be slowed down. This Cleveland Browns team is better than their record, which I hate when you go and like, man, this 3-7, the Browns, they stink. Ask the Bengals what the Browns did to them on Halloween. You know what I mean? So it's you can't just be lax because of that record and going into this game. So I'm going to take the easy way out for the offensive presence because I touched on some good ones while I was back here waiting. I'm going to say the entire offensive line has got to step up and play well so that we can protect the quarterback and hopefully get Rachaad White to have another 100-yard game.
Okay, so do you think are we going to see another familiar formula like they did in Munich? Run it down their throat, or are we going to see some creative passing finally?
Well, you know, Byron's not patient enough to just run the ball down their throats. They're going to throw the ball. They want to throw it. Brady's averaging 280 passing yards a game, right? So we know the ball is going to fly. The one good thing about that pass rush that he can face from Myles Garrett is the ball comes out of his hand very fast. He doesn't hold it for a very long time. But I want to see a good mix. I want to see a mix of run and pass. And then Brady, as slow as he is, as quick as he wants to throw it, he's not bad at running a play-action pass. And if you get that run game going, that's just another element to your offense that can help open some other things up.
I like it. Yeah, I want to see a mixture too, but I also want to see them get their big guys involved because I think sometimes with Evans, it's like a hot, cold, and then blizzard, meaning he's gone. They need to try to get him more involved because if you look at all the other receivers, I'll go back to the Thanksgiving game with the Bills. Did you see how Josh always found a way to get it to Stephon Diggs? We need to use Mike Evans in that similar fashion. Find him to get hot because once he gets hot, it's dangerous because then the corners are going to have to double him or they're going to have to put a safety down. When you double Evans, there's always should be one receiver that gets separation. That's just where they got to call the right plays. So I feel like if Evans is going to do a deep route, you need to have a receiver do an under crossing route that has the speed to take advantage of the corners or linebackers. So we need to find a way because I've seen too far in the game where when Mike Evans becomes almost irrelevant, that's when Brady gets rushed or he tries to throw the ball too fast. What are everyone's opinions on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously important to incorporate your best playmakers into the offense. I mean, it's kind of a no brainer, and I know for my fantasy teams, it would definitely be beneficial, like because he's on both of them. And
man,
yeah, and he hasn't really been racking up the touchdowns like I would like. He's definitely been more dependent on the yards for fantasy production, but Yeah, I definitely love to see him rack up some yards because I need it. I'm facing some tough opponents, and I'm sure y'all can sympathize.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Coming into this week, or coming into this season, I'll rewind it even further back than that. I said that Mike Evans was a top 5 caliber wide receiver in the NFL. The numbers don't put him in top 5, but I still believe he's a top 5 talent. That being said, I want to see more targets his way, and I want to see more catches, right? But honestly, let's think about it. Earlier in the year, Chris Godwin wasn't Chris Godwin. I think he's getting closer to that. If we can get just a little mimic of the Julio that had had the touchdown catch in Munich to show up for the rest of the season, now it opens up things for Mike Evans. I don't even think it's the routes and things that they were running. Most teams knew that they could go in, double team, take Mike Evans away, and there's no one else that was really a threat yet. So I think that's starting to change a little bit. When you saw the play our last game before the bye, I was like, okay, things are going to get going again. But yeah, Mike Evans could really do me well in fantasy this week as well with some more targets and catches, right? I'm guilty. He's on my squad. But that being said, in all honesty, I just believe just the collective effort. Because when you look at our receivers on paper, it's like, oh, they're great. Yep. But you look at the injuries they had, the trying to come back, still trying to get that chemistry with the new pieces. And just even today, Gage is out. So I just think that it hadn't been a complete healthy receiver core for the Buccaneers to be able to exploit what they put on Mike Evans. That double him Godwin's going to kill you. Oh, my God, go back to Godwin, Mike Evans is going to kill you. We haven't really had the opportunity to do that all season.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would like to, there have been a couple of times when Mike gets a bit cold and he starts dropping because he is, when he gets into a bit of I call it like a drop spree, they need to find like an easy route where it's pretty much it's an easy throw and catch just to get him going. And then once you see they do that to us, just give him something simple, just get it simple. Let's get the chains moving, nothing crazy. And then then you can start doing the challenging passes where he's, leaping up and getting it and plucking it out of the air like he normally does, that top shelf move that he always has. Then you can start employing that kind of stuff. But if he's getting cold, I'd like to see them throw a couple of hitches and stuff like that, and maybe give him on like a short comeback just to give him something so he's facing the ball. And he's not having to jump up in the sky and try and pluck it out of the air and do these harder catches. And you've said before, AJ, that sometimes Tom Brady throws with so much velocity. Sometimes it looks like everyone's got bricks for hands, but it looks like he really puts that ball in, drills that ball in there. And if you don't have the softest of hands, you end up looking like you got hands like a digital watch.
Yes, agreed. Now,
Slick, I'm stealing that one. I'm stealing that one. I'm sorry.
What I used in my coaching. If anyone drops God damn it, you got hands like a digital watch.
No, and again, because James, everybody here, before the bye week, we all had I tell you on Twitter, it was like a civil war about who's messing up more between the players and the coaching staff. People were calling me an apologist and a defensive attorney for Brady. And I was just sitting here like, wait a minute, guys, we got to be fair. I don't care what Shannon and Stephen A. Smith and these guys tell you, because a lot of those guys, they're going to do that for ratings. Like Slick always says, it's about getting the ratings in. If you play the game of football, everything doesn't rely on one person. This isn't the NBA.
Right.
It takes a machine in football. It's a team. But I had to, I told them, no, I criticize Brady a lot because some things that he does to piss me off, we've all seen it. Mm-hmm. He gets it out so fast, but other times there are plays that are wide open and
he drill it.
Yeah, he drills it because he doesn't want to get hit. Sometimes if he lets the play progress, it's a touchdown. Like the play, I think, that was almost intercepted to Brady, if he just takes his time and lofts that's a touchdown. The interception he had, if he lofts it, it's a touchdown. So there are going to be some plays where I feel like for him, if you're going to do that, design a play where someone is immediately going to get the ball. Because a lot of those times when he throws those picks like that or getting it out too quick, they're in a position where they're running a route that takes too much time. So for all the people out there you go. I criticize Brady. You happy? Leave me the hell alone about that now. Because we've all played the game. Tell me, are there times where you go, okay, Brady, that was you?
Oh, for sure. Every single player on the field will make some sort of mistake at some point where, it'll be a linebacker over pursuing and losing his leverage. It'll be a give up from a player where they just didn't fight through the block as much, or they rode the block, which is, always frustrating to watch because you never want to see anyone ride blocks, but there's a logic behind it. They think they can position themselves, but what they're doing is just giving up real estate for free. There's all sorts of things. So I think keen eyes can see it. Sometimes the quarterback, the spotlight's on them, so it's always easy to see it on the quarterback. It's a lot harder to see mistakes. It's like, for example, the easiest one on this is when you see a wide open receiver. And what a lot of people don't look at when they see the wide open receiver is the quarterback's looking in the opposite direction. And unfortunately, they don't have eyes stuck on the side of their head, and the way they're programmed, or the way that play was designed, was that they will open up one way. That means that person who was wide open might be the fifth or fourth read, which means if the pass rush is good enough, you're probably not going to get to that read. And that's the easy one. You can find a player on any given play that went incomplete or was thrown into bad coverage or was just thrown away. You will be able to find a wide open receiver somewhere.
That's right. Anybody else got some Brady? Hey, look, man, tighten up. This is a tighten up Brady segment for a moment. What about you, Dave? You got to tighten up, Brady.
Oh, man, I love criticizing Tom Brady. That's my favorite thing to do, too.
I've seen some of your – I'm like, man, he is getting the full brunt of it. Some things I'm sitting here like, damn, he went to a wedding. So what if he went to a wedding? Man, won with that franchise. I get it. Like, come on, guys. Like, we got to understand. It's like people have lives that wasn't important. That didn't cause him to
shame on Robert Kraft for having a wedding during football season. I'm sorry. I had my wedding outside of football season, so you can too.
Right.
When you're doing that, you can do whatever you want. But
unfortunately, I had a daughter in the middle of football season, in my football season.
How dare you, man? You can't have your wife. Tell your wife, hold that baby next time, damn it.
There's no next time. There's no next more. I'm done. I'm done.
Right, like, wait a minute. The baby's due in November. Well, we got to push that to March.
Our season over here actually starts in January.
Okay.
Wow.
So we go preseason in January. First game's like April.
Okay.
It's almost like a spring league, really, but it works for us because I don't end up missing NFL games.
Okay.
So it's perfect. Our season is done just before our playoffs are done in September, just at the beginning of September. So we're back into full season football for the NFL. So it works perfectly.
Right.
But when it comes to Tom Brady, I think it's beyond easy to hate him or love him and to bash him, right? Because I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. When Tom Brady was in New England, I thought he was damn near Aaron Rodgers. The way I feel about Aaron Rodgers, couldn't stand him, right? Now he's the Buccaneers quarterback, and it's like, hey, we got the GOAT, greatest quarterback ever. That's the fan part of you. I mean, you're going to do it. You can't help but do it. That's just like there's a lot of people on a lot of teams I can't stand. If they came to Tampa, I bet I would cheer for them, point blank, period. The one thing at the quarterback position, that's the one person the ball is in their hands pretty much every single play of an offensive snap, right? Unless you go some crazy wildcat. So it's easy to point the finger and to blame at what's going on with that quarterback. And I think it's just easy to criticize Brady for anything he does, any response he gives. I'm right there with you. I've been on the bash Brady bandwagon. I've been on the praise Brady bandwagon. I've been on the God just help Brady not hurt himself or have a bad hip being almost 50 years old, bandwagon, all of that stuff, right? I just think it comes down at the end of the day. This is a quarterback we decided to, he decided to come back. We decided to keep him. He gives us the best chance to win. We just need all the other pieces to play together. And that's the biggest thing all year has been inconsistency. We ranked 27th in scoring. That's, 18 some points a game. We got to get in the end zone. And from a year ago or 2 years ago, you're looking like we were top 3 in the NFL in scoring. It's like, where the hell did it go? What happened?
I scored an offense last year.
Yeah. So
it's a far cry from what it is. And I think it's not the case of we can get downfield, we just can't finish. We're letting Suckup have an absolute career year in field goals, probably more than he would normally get.
Oh, I got to put him in my lineup. Thanks for saying that.
Oh, no. I played a guy I went against a while back. He was like, look, thank you for Suckup. He was like, this guy is just killing it for us. I'm like, I know. That's so embarrassing. Yeah, I do think though that we have to finish, but finish. That's where creativity comes in because I think a lot of times in the red zone, a lot of times coaches get very their mind is let's not blow this, but it's like okay, but that play you're calling is why your quarterback gets sacked. Like honestly, when it comes to Brady, there shouldn't be a play in the red zone where it takes too much time for the play to develop because he's not mobile enough to escape everything, and they're gonna unleash the hound on him. I go back to the Dallas game where Micah Parsons was feasting. You know why? Because there were plays that took too long to develop. A guy like Parsons in the red zone, you blow him up. You blow him up. That's another guy that, like you said, James, like who I can't stand, but if he was on my team, I would be for him. I I like Parsons, but I don't.
I hate the Cowboys. I still like Michael Parsons because
Yeah,
he's a dog on the field. Like he gets
Yeah.
after the whole new way, and to have who's probably your best linebacker that you have to go play at your defensive end position, not to turn this into the Cowgirl show.
of course.
It's just something about what he does on the field. So it's just like, damn, I hate Dallas. God damn, Michael Parsons is good. I mean, I catch myself doing that all. I did that with DeMarcus Ware was there also because of the way he played the game and the way he played the position.
Yeah.
And it just goes, I'm just like, if he had anything but a star on his helmet, I could cheer for him out loud in public.
Right. So I would ask you guys this. Mentally, where do you hope that this Bucks team is right now? Mentally, where do you hope that they are all at right now? And that includes the players and the coaches. Where should it be mentally?
Dominance. They've got their playoff start right now. That they can't afford to lose a single game. We are in it until we're out of it, and we have to be in it every single game. Attention to detail's got to be there. Be accountable. Do your fucking job and kick some fucking ass and enjoy doing it. There's my piece.
I might go out in a different direction. I think more of a place of tranquility. I don't know. There's something about just consistency and just because, it seems like Brady's throwing the ball 48 times a damn game. I mean, he's just throwing the ball way too much, and it's coming from a place of, high emotion, high intensity. You want to win the game so bad. You want to score a touchdown. It's all so intense. Like, hey, everybody, let's just relax. Like, let's just, hand the ball off, hit the right hole, score some touchdowns. Let's have a nice, relaxing end of the season. It's in the NFC South, like the season's not supposed to be this hard. Like their main contenders, Saints, and Falcons. Like, come on now. Like, let's sure, dominance is important, but I feel like the way to get there is through, peace, tranquility, calm. I meditate a lot, so for me, it's like,
Has anyone else meditated here? Because I've
Right,
never
right.
meditated ever. I'm 37 years old and I've never meditated.
oh man, it's a beautiful thing. I tell you what, it's done.
Maybe I'll have to try something. There's not a
Indeed.
lot of peace in my life. I have too many loud children.
Does sleeping count as meditation?
I can do that. I'm good at that.
Because I can get that in at night. Now, for me, coming off the bye week, looking into it, and I'm just, the old philosophy of what I used to hear back in the day, depending on when that bye week came, it's a new beginning to the same season. The season hasn't changed, but our production has changed. Maybe we found something that wasn't working and we fixed it during our bye week. Let's go out and apply it and see if we can turn this thing around. Too many close games early on that we lost, losing teams we shouldn't. I believe that you look at it as an opportunity to go out these last 7 weeks, whatever it is, 5 weeks. Sorry, 80 hours damn game. Now I'm forgetting my math is bad. No, but regardless of the fact is, you go into it thinking this is a new. What happened. We can't go back and change it, but we can fix it. You fix it during that off time, and then just try to carry it on out for the rest of the year.
Amen. Yeah, I got 2 words: belief and accountability. Belief. I don't care who we are playing. You guys are my guys. I don't give a damn if Michael Parsons is on that other side of the field. Okay, we got something for his ass. Chip him, knock him down, because obviously mentally he's a social media drama queen, and that's why I can't stand players like that. And that's why I'm glad we stuck it to Devin White's ass, because when these guys, to me, when you start explaining yourself to the media, that means you're not focused enough. I don't care what nobody says about me. First of all, you are getting paid millions of dollars, so you can have a team shut that down, but you should be engaged. So believe in your squad. That's what I want the coaches to do. okay, I know we're playing this team, but let's see their weaknesses. Every team has a weakness. And accountability is if I fuck up, that's my bad. I own that. Let's fix it. There's nothing we can do about the last play. Let's see what we can do now. Because now there should be no simple, well, we just got to do a little better. That's not going to accomplish. I don't want to hear that because like Slick says all the time, which I think is brilliant, at the end of this season, whatever happens, whoever wants another job, they're going to ask, hey, you were in this prime position with all these players. What happened? Why did you mess up? So if Leftwich wants to get a coaching job, you better look. He cannot afford to not get this team to an NFC title. Anything less than that for him, they're going to say, well, damn, you had the GOAT. You had these pieces. What happened? And as soon as he goes, blah, blah, well, have a good day. We'll keep your resume on file for 30 days. For the players, some of these guys want the big bucks. Well, your production went down. We saw you miss big time plays. We saw you tweet to somebody and say, y'all should mind your own business. Can you mentally sustain that? Well, okay, yeah. $8 million for 2 years. Take it or leave it. So belief and accountability is where we need to be at because we beat this team. You started off, of course, I know it's cliche, one game at a time, but we take care of business here. Then we can continue to build. We got to build. So now it's building. Belief and accountability will get this team far because that's what got them far to the Super Bowl run. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that the 2020 season, after we had our bye week, we got it together and we became dangerous. And we still can do this. So that's what I got. Belief and accountability, Bucs. Let's get this together because we can win this. We can win this.
Absolutely.
The NFC is weak. I'm not scared of Dallas. I'm not scared of Minnesota. I'm not scared of the Giants. Hell, they might not even be healthy when they go into the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, we have what it takes. The defense, again, our defense is a Super Bowl caliber defense. I don't care what nobody says. If this offense can play average, we're in there. Average. Give me average. Just give me average for a while. We'll work on getting better, but just give me average and let's stay healthy.
I'd say give me 24 points a game and you're going to probably win a lot more games.
Agreed.
With that defense, you're going to. I mean, it sputtered a little bit when the run defense kind of tripped out and checked out for a little bit, but that seems to be fixed so far since Akeem Hicks has come back, and it just goes to show what he really brought to the table as a defensive player. So hopefully he stays healthy for the rest of the season. One for you, James. You like the hands like a digital watch. Here's one for you. We take it from the class to the grass, and then we go kick some ass.
Class to the grass.
Like it.
There you go.
Like it.
Some ass. Yes. I like that. Yeah, because we got this. Like, I'm not trying to look too far ahead, but what team do you see in the NFC that's going to really give the Bucs a problem?
You mean overall, or just what they face in the next couple of weeks?
Overall, let's say if the playoffs started today, we most likely would be playing Dallas or the Giants. Who in the NFC is really going to give us a problem?
I mean, the NFC, you just said, I believe is up for grabs. There's no solid or consistent team because realistically, New York had Dallas on the ropes Thanksgiving and found a way to just blow the game, right? Dallas looks great one week, bad the other. Same with Philly. Like the last couple of games, they squeaked by, and Jalen Hurts is looking like the quarterback I thought he was a couple of years, you know what I'm saying, last year.
Yeah.
Not like, they're going to survive. I think it's prime for us as long as we just handle our business. Like in this next line of games, though, the only game I'm worried about, to me personally, I'm worried about going out to San Francisco because they play well together. They got a solid defense. Jimmy G is not great, but adding McCaffrey in the backfield just makes his job a lot easier. But other than like overall NFC picture, I mean, I think you can almost just close your eyes, spin around and point, and that team could end up going to the Super Bowl to represent the NFC this year.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Carter?
Yeah, James, that's a great point. The NFC is certainly, who knows, because like you said, it seems like every team plays differently every week. There's no real consistency. But yeah, I don't think there's really I mean, I guess if I had to pick one team, gun to my head, I'd pick Philly just because, I mean, you don't start the season off undefeated like they did without having some kind of success, some kind of talent. And they just have so much depth. They have all those freaking first round picks. And it's like, if you have that many first round picks, eventually some of them are going to hit. But yeah, I like Jalen Hurts. I know he struggled a little bit the past couple of weeks, but I think that his dual threat capabilities and just he's been taking care of the football a lot better this year. So yeah, the Eagles are definitely great. They're probably the number one. It's hard to take the Vikings and the Cowboys seriously because it's Kirk Cousins and then it's the Dallas Cowboys. Like they always screw up in the playoffs. They're like the Saints of the state of Texas. So it's just it's hard to take either of those teams very seriously. So yeah, definitely the Eagles and the 49ers are also a huge threat as well, just because they're so well disciplined. They have such a great defense and they have all those playmakers, which is just disturbing to think about. But AJ, how about you? Who's your team to watch?
Maybe San Fran. The only reason I can't take them serious because injuries. They're not durable. And Christian McCaffrey, I would say when it comes to the passing, because he was a dual threat. But the issue is in Carolina, they tried to use him too much. I would say this: if Kittles was 100% healthy, oh yeah, I'd be scared because he can block. Jimmy's going to be Jimmy. That's what keeps that team from being a Super Bowl caliber championship squad because it's Jimmy. Jimmy never finds a way to screw up. Jalen, I'm not sold on him yet. He reminds me of he's a guy when they're up, he can be dangerous, but when they're down, his decision making gets very, very poor because he doesn't have that repertoire of let me go through my progressions and make things happen. He, like you said, he wants to use his Jalen. When a quarterback wants to use their legs first, that's their biggest downfall because they're not seeing up the field yet. And that's a lot of times where they can get hurt. Look at Josh. He has been lucky that his size has kept him from not being sidelined. But as you can see, when he realized, let me use my players to win the game, they win with Stephon Diggs again. When you find a way to believe in your squad, your team, that's how you win. But yeah, NFC, the Bucs, they got this because we have what I like about our defense, we can neutralize any type of weaponry. Jalen Hurts want to run the rock, Devin White or Levante David can watch him. Jimmy Garoppolo, when he gets pressured, he's going to throw it away. He always does. To me, Jimmy Garoppolo is the modern day Tony Romo. He'll find some moves, but then he'll just make a boneheaded play. You're like, Jimmy, what was that? Honestly, and we got to stay healthy. That is our big thing. You said it, James. Can you imagine if this receiving core gets healthy in the playoffs and they sync? I'll tell you this: if Godwin and Mike Evans are like last year, where they're in sync,
oh boy,
it's lights out. It's lights out.
But Bernie Mac say trouble.
Right, trouble. like R.I.P. Bernie. Yes, yeah. Because as much as I do think defensively, mentally, we have the most strongest mentally team. I always go back to Parsons again. He's good, but when you put him on his ass like our boy Fournette did, his whole game went away. Go back and watch that game. After
that chip block that was vicious.
Yeah, it was beautiful because after that he didn't adjust. When a guy like him, when they
you gotta go, James.
Yeah.
No. I'm still good. I'm just up here messing with this chat. Just want to say thank y'all. You good? I'm good.
So yeah, that's what I think. I think mentally sound-minded, we're going to be fine because apparently, Slick, I think Levante was on a show and he said something to the team. I'm not going back to the way we used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I love. That's why I love Levante because you guys remember when he first got drafted, our team was butt sauce. It was awful. Yeah. We were awful. And James, let me ask you this because you played the game. When you go from a team of, when you guys were struggling to now you're successful, you don't want to go back, right? So you're telling your players, hey, we're not going to mess this opportunity up to be great.
Yeah, it's hard to get good. And I tell everybody, I was blessed and I came into a situation where Dungy had kind of rewritten what Tampa Bay football was before. And there was a standard set in that locker room by guys like John Lynch, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp that you weren't going to come in and mess it up. They set a standard. You had to go by that, had to operate by that. So my 4 years in Tampa, we only missed the playoffs one time. And then I was the guy who took that mentality to Indianapolis with Coach Dungy. So, I mean, and you have to have it, like he said, guys, it's hard to get to the top. And we cannot go back to where we were a long time ago. And some of the younger guys don't really understand that, won't understand it until it happens. But yet it takes vets like that to keep you going so that you don't ever get back to that again. And it's hard with free agency and money getting dangled around and the way, teams come in there try to poach your best players. It's hard to stay on top. But, it can be done.
Good. See, I love that. See, that's why we don't want that, because we want to win as much as we can, because Brady is not going to be around forever. And if we are successful, that will keep him around, because we want Brady to feel like, you know what, I got one more. I got one more year for me to make this, to take it to the top. Let's say, guys, and I know I'm still speaking this into existence. Let's say we win the Super Bowl. Let's say we win it all. Don't you think that would make Brady go, you know what? I think I got one more year to do this we can have a one last dance version of the NFL with the Bucs. The last dance where Brady says, I'm going to give it one more year to win. Because let's say if we go out disgracefully, what keeps him to stay?
Yeah. I don't know. It's still something with Tom Brady and all these rumors that popped up beforehand about ownership elsewhere, that Brady already has a plan in place. Whether it's to stay or go, who knows? Right now, this is me call me selfish. I could care less about next year. I need us to fix what's going on right now. Right. But I feel you, but if that helps him go, you know what? Let's do this again healthy. Let's do this again with one or two more pieces and really make it right. Cool, it helps. But if not, let's find a successor, which no one coming in. I feel so bad for the next quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How the hell do you follow that act up? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you just woo-wee? And starting the quarterback is Kyle Trask. You're like, what? I mean, I don't care who it is. That's such a hard act to follow.
Oh, God.
So that's why I just want to maximize while he is here, because what he brings to the game, the knowledge of the game, his gameplay. Yeah, I could do without some of the old man rants, throwing tablets on the sideline, but that's how competitive he is and how much he wants to win. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. You're going through a personal issue in your life where your marriage is in shambles, it's probably about to hit divorce way long before we even know it, right? Yeah, and you decide to go back like, man, I'm about to go to war with my brothers. I'm about to go back and get this thing done and try to win another championship. That says a lot about what he believes about this game and what he brings to your team, right? With wanting to win is awesome. But hey, I just can't even look into that crystal ball to ask what's going to happen next year yet. I just want to fix this 5-5 and get to the playoffs and try to make that run.
I feel you, man. I understand. I'm all in it too. Okay, but you're right, Kyle Trask, man. Boy, we got people calling him Kyle Trash, and I'm like, damn, that's not fair. The man, that ain't fair.
Like, hasn't had their chance to really do anything.
Right? Come on, they put Blaine Gabbert over him, and if he isn't good, shame on the Bucs for even drafting him. That wouldn't even be his fault. That would be
that's a personnel department. Yeah, that's a personnel department issue.
What you picking for? Yeah. What you picking for? Because he was a Gator? And he was high profile at the time. What the hell was that for? So, yes, we need to, of course, we want to win it this year. That's why I'm speaking it into existence. If the Bucs can do it, I pray that if we see the Chiefs again, if we were to go, because I want to kick their ass. Who in here would love to see us have a rematch and whoop their ass again?
That would be awesome.
I can't stand Kelsey and I can't stand Mahomes. James, you know this as well. I hate fake tough guys when they get on the field, because then it's like, wait a minute. You know damn well I can't touch you because the refs and ESPN will make me the bad guy if I pop your ass.
Right.
I can't do it no, because Kelsey's that guy. He's good, but the simple fact that people have called him the best of all time is absurd.
Right.
Like Gronk just wasn't on this team one-on-one blocking defensive guys on the Washington team by himself. Like we have Shannon Sharps of the world. We have other
Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates.
Mhm.
Ellen Winslow, senior.
Yeah. That's a lot of.
It's a lot of them. It's
yeah.
like Kelsey, and he's another one, a crybaby. He's a diva. When Derwin James put him on his ass, he got humbled real quick. It's like, yeah, buddy. So yeah, I want the Bucs to finish this year. I really hope we do see the Chiefs again because I want to put Kermit the Frog down.
Just to bring it back around to today's game, I was over way where we part because we're probably about the 50-minute mark, with the game's going to be on in the next 40. So we all probably got to get game prep, get our beers out and our pretzels or whatever our game day snacks are, just to go around the room and say, as I always say, we wake up tomorrow and when you turn that paper and you get flipped to the sports section, what do you want the headline to be for the Buccaneers? Let's go around the clock. So we'll start with Carter.
Oh, that's a good one. I think Mr. White, it's time to cook. That's the headline I'm looking for. I hope Rachaad White has another huge game. He's primed and ready for it. The Browns' defensive line, like I mentioned earlier, is atrocious. They're giving up almost, they're bottom 10 in rushing yards per game.
5.2 a carry.
Yeah.
They're giving up.
It's absurd. Like, they're amazing at getting after the quarterback, but good Lord, they're Swiss cheese when it comes to the running game. So, that's my headline.
James?
Oh man, I just want to hope the headline says Buccaneers bounce the Browns. Whatever you can play off that ugly color and us winning with the Bees and the Buccaneers. I just wanted to say something like that.
Put the dog down.
Hey man, I don't know. You got a lot of dog lovers. We might catch some hell for that one.
Oh no, sorry. Put the Browns down. Put the Browns in the ground.
It's just the mascot. Just the mascot. It's okay.
Hey, Buccaneers send Browns to the Super Bowl, which means to the toilet bowl. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Something that the fact of the matter is, or Bucs build momentum coming out of the bye, which means that we get a win and we get to going. That'd be 3 in a row, and that's kind of what I want my headline to say.
Yes, sir.
AJ?
Don't forget about Mike. I need Mike to have 11 catches for 140 yards and 2 TDs.
Ooh.
One, I have him on fantasy. Yes, I need
This is my wife.
He can do it, but again, I want people to realize, like you said, James, Mike Evans is elite. It's not his fault that he doesn't get the recognition. It's just the numbers, and sometimes it's team bias. Because I guarantee if he played for the damn Cowboys, we would love Mike. The people would love him. So don't forget Mike. I want that to say, do not forget about Evans. So Evans, don't let me down today.
For me, I've got the Bucs paint the Browns red.
Ooh.
Just go in there, complete utter dominance. I want this to be the game that the Buccaneers show up and you're talking offense, special teams, the whole shebang. We bring it. It doesn't. The score line doesn't have to. We don't have to score thousands of hundreds of points or what have you. We just need to be. The pass game was great. The run game was efficient. We got after the quarterback. We got the turnovers. We one forced fumble taken out, a pick six or a couple of picks. Just something like we can turn around and go, every box was ticked. Now we're rolling. This is what we want coming off the bye.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to bow out and get ready because I got to back the children before. So,
on this note, can we tell them where they can find you, Carter and James? Carter, where can they find you?
Absolutely. RBLR Sports podcast that I host, the Bucs edition, and then Creative Loafing. Check me out there. I got articles being published all the time, and of course here on Bucs Report, I got Carter's Corner. Check me out, CT Brantley 12. I recently had a hit tweet, got over 450 likes about Brock Osweiler.
Oh wow!
World works. I don't know that a silly tweet about Brock Osweiler would have gotten me a bunch of likes and shit, but that's how the world
works. See you, bro. We'll catch you soon.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
Appreciate it.
All right, James, where can they find you at?
Hey, Big Game James. You can find me on YouTube on Big Game Sports Buzz, which is about to change over to Big Game Entertainment on my show, Big Game Sports Buzz, the Sports Chop Shop. And I drop a little nugget every now and then here on Bucs Report called Game's Pewter Perspective. And that's my take on what I think the Buccaneers need to do going into a game, moves on the season or whatever it is, man. We're just always trying to drop good knowledge on good sports and keeping it fun.
My man, you could thank you so much, James. And again, it's always good to hear from a Bucs legend that played, and man, it's always good to hear that NFL expertise.
Man, I appreciate that.
Love it. You take care and go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Sir. And then you can find me on FlexLuthor_813 for Instagram, A Turner _24 for Twitter, and then AJ Turnup. It's about bucking time on YouTube. Slick.
You can catch me on my show Across the Bucking Pond, which is every Saturday at 7:15 p.m. and then Buck Wild at 9 p.m., which we'll be looking to change onto a Sunday at some point after I got to get back into coaching and not have to go to bed at a ridiculous time because I have to get up at 7 in the morning. And then me and AJ, we also do the Aftermath, which is probably going to be this Monday. If we're both able to do it, we'll be doing that. And that's where we kind of go a bit more bare knuckled and get our rants out, and it's no hold barred. Language is poor, and nobody's wrong, but everybody's right. Everybody's wrong and nobody's right. So that's kind of our vibe. And then of course I do Slick Stance and a few the Bucs Report media of my takes. Sometimes I'll do a take off what AJ said or what James Canada said, or I'll just have my own an opinion on NFL news that comes out, that short choppy videos, and that you can catch us then. And I'll be doing the post game show later on today.
Man. All right, guys. Well, it's a pleasure. You guys take it easy. I'm out. And then for the German words, my man Slick, post.
I like it. Well, cheers.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah, brother.
Peace.
See you guys. Bucs on me. Bucs